What's up, sports bettors? Early bird gets the worm. We are looking at the best two mathematically profitable, positive expected value, positive EV bets from OddsJam for the NHL playoffs. So lines have already started to move towards the Florida Panthers off the open. You can see Panthers minus 1.5 on the puck line. Pinnacles all the way down at plus 150. So the sharpest sportsbook in the world only giving you plus 150. We can get plus 170 on Caesars Sportsbook. So lines ripping towards the Panthers, plus 170 on Caesars, has a 4.75% profit margin. So pretty insane. We're getting a lot of value to the current odds on Pinnacle. So this is a bet I really like as lines continue to move towards the Florida Panthers, right? Best teams in the NHL, Panthers in the East. You got the Avs in the West. So guess who I'm betting on next is the Colorado Avalanche. -2 on the puck line. This is lower EV. I already bet this MLB bet. Garrett Whitlock under 4.5 strikeouts, but Avs -2, plus 165. I really like this bet. You're getting 15 cents of improvement from Pinnacle. Lines have actually off the open started to move towards basically every team that is favored. So I'm going to have a 2-leg parlay. We're going to run through the math of this parlay, the profit margin of this parlay, and we're on Panthers -1.5. Avs -2, plus 165. We're taking the two best teams in the NHL. So you can see I have this parlay right here. It's plus 616 odds. We're going to go ahead and lock it in for $250. So Caesars takes the bet. Let's go. We can see it right here. No, that's a different parlay I have. Under 2.5 Rangers team total, Avs -2. But whatever. We'll wait for here's the bet. Avs -2, Panthers -1.5. So this is the parlay that I really like for the NHL playoffs. I'm betting on the two best teams in the league on the puck line. Now let's run through the math very briefly. Why are these bets mathematically profitable? Why are these bets positive EV? Right? So the way a parlay works is a sportsbook takes the implied odds, multiplies them together, and then turns that, implied probability back into the price of the parlay. So plus 165, plus 170 is essentially just, 100 over 265 times 100 over 270. So this is the implied probability from Caesars Sportsbook. And then they're taking this and converting it back into an odd, and that is the price they are giving you. Right, so plus 616 odds, which is exactly what we saw in Caesars Sportsbook. So again, parlays are typically very unprofitable bets because the vig or the juice compounds. However, if you're finding positive EV bets, your profit margin actually compounds. So the profit margin of this 2-leg parlay we'll see is actually higher than 4.75%, right? So we have Panthers -1.5. On the puck line, Caesars giving us plus 170. The current market on Pinnacle is plus 150, minus 171. So what we can do is throw that into a zero vig, a fair odds calculator. If we want to get an estimate of what is the true odds, the true price, the fair price for Panthers -1.5 puck line. And we can see it turns out to be plus 157.75. So roughly plus 158 is the fair price. And on Caesars, we were able to get plus 170, which is why this bet is positive EV, right? So the way that every sportsbook makes money, they don't charge you a fee for placing a bet, is they juice their markets, right? So Pinnacle's model is spitting out that the Avs are 38, or the Panthers are 38.8% to cover the -1.5 puck line. 38.8%. Sports has variance. No one knows the future. But Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, is saying Panthers -1.5 is roughly 38.8% to occur, which implies zero vig price of plus 157.75, right? So once we de-vig the market on Pinnacle, we get their estimated win percentage. The estimated win percentage for Panthers -1.5 puck line. Right, so 38.8%. If you want to plug that into an odds converter, you can see that's plus 157.75. A little bit of rounding error here, but the same thing we just saw in the Novig odds calculator. So what we can do is let's put in Pinnacle's market one more time, plus 150 minus 171. So the win probability for our bet on Panthers minus 1.5 puck line is 38.8%. So Panthers minus 1.5 puck line has a 38.8% win probability from Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest bookmaker out there. Then we have to do the same thing for Avs minus 2. Pinnacle's market is plus 150, minus 174, so 24 cents in market width. A pretty tight market. So what we can do is plug that market into a zero vig odds calculator. Plus 150, minus 174. And the win probability for Avs minus 2 is 38.65%. So we'll put that in here. So basically now we have our win probabilities for Panthers minus 1.5 puck line and Avs minus 2 puck line from Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker. And all we're doing, again, is de-vigging the market to get an estimate of the win probability, right? So sportsbooks make money by taking their fair price for a bet and then adding in the vig, adding in the juice. So what we're doing with the zero vig odds calculator is we're reverse engineering it, right? We're taking the market on the sportsbook and backing out their zero vig line and their win probabilities. So Pinnacle thinks the Avs are 38.65% to cover the minus 2 puck line. So basically, for our parlay, Panthers minus 1.5, Avs minus 2, which we have right here, we need to win 2 bets, right? Panthers minus 1.5, Avs minus 2. We know the win probabilities for both bets. Both of these bets are uncorrelated, right? Panthers minus 1.5, puck line covering has no correlation to Avs minus 2 covering. So if we want the implied win probability for a parlay, we just multiplied these two numbers together. Panthers minus 1.5 and Avs minus 2. And we get that our parlay is roughly 15% to hit, according to Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest bookmaker out there. So if our parlay is 15% to hit, what we can do is we can plug that into an odds converter calculator. So if our parlay is like 14.99% to hit, the fair odds would be plus 567, right? But on Caesars, we were able to get plus 616, which beats the zero vig or the fair estimated win probability for our parlay of plus 567. So this parlay is positive EV. So we're staking $250. We're winning $1,540 if this parlay wins, which is just our stake times the odds, right? $250 staked at plus 616 means if you win this parlay, we get we get $1,540, right? $250 staked at plus 616 odds. The win probability for our parlay is roughly 15%. So the EV of our parlay is win probability times stake, or win probability times profit if win, minus our loss probability, which is 1 minus our win probability times our stake, right? So the profit margin of this bet in dollars is $18. We staked $250. So the edge of this bet, or the profit margin of this bet, is 7.4%. Positive EV parlay. So yes, it is possible to place mathematically profitable parlay bets. So a few other bets popping up, but I think we're going to call it here. 2-leg parlay, Avs minus 2, Panthers minus 1.5. Lines are moving towards both teams, best teams in the NHL. Hopefully this parlay is able to cash. Hopefully you're able to tail. Let's make some money.